And now a statement from the spokesman for Boeing. By now you have heard of the tragic, unavoidable crashes that two of our planes were involved in. These freak accidents, unpredictable, chaotic, and inescapable in their nature, shows us how fragile life really is. Let us take a moment of silence for the victims of this catastrophe. Unfortunately, there are those who would point a finger in blame at Boeing. Sure, maybe our new MCAS system had something to do with it. Maybe our software plunged our airplanes into the ground. Maybe the technology wasn't tested enough before being rolled out. But at this point, it is all speculation. Blaming Boeing for this tragedy is exactly what the plane crash wanted. The plane crash wished to divide our already fractured society. It wanted the left to hate the right. It wanted those who call for stricter regulations from the FAA to hate those of us who want the free market to decide which planes fly safely and which planes are sold at a discount. Also, why are we talking about how unsafe our planes supposedly are? Helicopters are much more unsafe. Every year, thousands of people die from helicopter crashes, but no one talks about them. What about Boko Haram in Nigeria? Nobody talks about those guys. Maybe we should focus on real problems like Islamofascism or helicopter touring companies. I'm just calling for people to come together and to not resort to throwing guilt until all the facts are out. At Boeing, I mean, I can still blame Islamofascism for a lot of things. I mean, we like some of our, like the Gulf states, they are good customers. I'm not talking about all Muslims. The Muslims with money are pretty moderate.
Fairfax, Albert Fairfax, Albert Fairfax, Albert Fairfax. It's me, Albert Fairfax, Albert Fairfax, the conservative icon, Albert Fairfax.
Welcome to the Albert Fairfax Show. I'm your host, Albert Fairfax. Folks, welcome back to another week of the Albert Fairfax Show. Really kicking things into high gear, a lot of new subscribers, a lot of, really, honestly, the show is dead in the water, okay? This has happened before. Where I've gotten mad at my fans, and I swore it wouldn't happen again. But you know what? I'm sorry. We have a fan base as shitty as mine. Okay, we have a fan base as ungrateful as mine. Now, I post on the Albert Fairfax subreddit. No one shows up. It's like no one knows I exist. Oh, you're funny, Albert. I'm an intellectual. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny. I can be funny, but I'm not trying to be funny because I'm not funny in that case. Okay, it's out of my system. I'm here to teach the millennials and the Generation Zoomers that are inexplicably attracted to my podcast. It's probably because they're missing these sort of parental father figures in their lives. I'm like the YouTuber Jordan Peterson, but like instead I'm like a professor instead of a YouTuber. That's the big difference. But I'm the intellectual version of Jordan Peterson. So today I'm going to teach you guys, how to be successful. I noticed, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders, more like Bernie Stalin, is, are really big among young kids. A lot of kids are like, oh, I can't be successful because of, nepotism, whatever. I mean, you want to spread that hate around against wealthy, successful families using that slur, nepotism. I'm going to teach you how to be successful in a career sense, Yeah, I've faced challenge, This is the worst time to be a white male, but no one talks about that. So today I'm going to teach you success, okay? And in 3 short lessons, okay, from my own life. The first lesson is networking. Yeah, you gotta work hard, Yeah, you gotta stand out, but you know what you also have to do? You have to network. You have to get to know people, Shortly out of university, it was a intense competition for internships, for financial institutions and for think tanks and the sort. And so the organization I wanted to get into had a very intense process in choosing their interns. So what I do, I networked. I talked to my father, who was a dear friend of the man who ran this organization. I'm being anonymous about this because I don't want to get doxxed, by the left. And so he talked to him, and through my networking skills with my father, I was able to secure a position, an internship at a highly prestigious financial institution. So lesson number 1, knocked it out of the park, didn't I? All right, lesson number 2. Standing out from the crowd. Another thing is, you get into the position, you work hard, but you have to stand out. You have to make yourself different from the competition, the institution I was at, I was surrounded by, people I am willing to admit were very smart, I am willing to admit came in early, left late, but I understood that I had to stand out. So what did I do? Well, I'll tell you what I did. So I talked to my father. It turns out that the boss, he likes golf, and so does my father. So what does my father do? He sets up a golfing trip between me and the boss and my father. So we all went golfing, and I got to know my boss on a personal level, and managed to stand out from the crowd. So when I came back to work, we were on a first name basis, and that's a huge leg up, and it allowed my hard work every day to really shine. Lesson number 2 for your career advice, knocked out of the park once again. Lesson number 3. Okay, so there's going to be times in your life where you are confronted with obstacles, even if everything's going quite well, So at this financial institution, the internship was over. I was actually hired on full time. Fresh out of college, earning 6 figures. It was quite a good job, but I was put under someone else. Someone else was my boss, and honestly, we butted heads. Oh, Albert, you're taking advantage of your connections to skip on work. Oh, Albert, Albert, you're slacking on your work and putting work on other people's desks. Now, listen, I'm an intellectual. Okay, I have to think. I'm a thinker, really. The hard work I value, and it's something that I do. But I'm more of an ideas person. But I digress. This is the argument I had with him. There's no reason for you to hear it, even though I was right. We really didn't get along, and it got bad. It got bad, folks. I got written up. I came closest to losing my job. So what I do? I didn't give up. I was close, but I didn't give up. What I did, started coming to work early, started leaving late. I started, picking up other people's slack. I started, and most importantly, I talked to my father, who talked to the head of the financial institution, and so I got my boss fired, and I took his job. It was through that perseverance that I became a better man. I became a better worker and employee, and eventually became a good leader. So, just wanted to give you guys a lesson, in how to become a more successful professional. Don't let them, change your mind about how the world works, make you think that, it's all for nothing, that you're competing against people who had a leg up from day one, okay? Because that's just loser thinking, really, okay? And you're not a loser, aren't you? You're already listening to my show, so it's quite obvious you're a winner. All right, so that's it for the show this week, and I'll catch you again next week, because as you know, I'm a diligent worker, and I am always on schedule. So make sure to catch me again, and make sure to comment on my posts on our Albert Fairfax, because honestly, it'd be nice if I had fans that actually appreciate it.
Albert Fairfax. Albert Fair, Albert Fair, Albert Fair.